Hi, my name is Michael Trout. I'm an entrepreneur. I live in Japan. Basically, I believe I represent basically the 99.9% who fail at doing their startups. And I'm trying to fight the 0.1% that's basically out of Silicon Valley controlling everything. And pretty much if you want to get your startup going, you got to move there. And I don't want to move there. I don't want to be part of this crowd. I think I think what's been going on and been documented, and what I'm referring to is something called Angelgate. So Angelgate, read up on it, and what's the most important thing on Angelgate is actually read these articles here, right? Where it talks about get your own consensus, but basically what it is it's a bunch of Silicon Valley investors, and I'll tell you, they're right here. Okay, Angelgate Co. Go to Angelgate Co. and you can actually, Dave McClure was one of them, and these are the insiders. These are the guys that they've created their own platform. They control who gets access. They have their own vetting system, and pretty much, if you are in the in crowd, you're going to get in. Now, if you are an outsider, like Grow VC, and see, Grow VC has been pioneering this space, and basically I think what's happening is the Angellist folks are basically trying to stay on top, because ultimately the opportunity to disrupt the startup is significant. So they're trying to pretty much fight back against the Grow VCs and folks like myself, which are outsiders trying to strip away their power, right? And we're just small guys. So if you imagine me back as Jimmy Wales back in 2000, I had no power, right? Look at Jimmy Wales now with Wikipedia, one of the most powerful social media platforms out there. And if it was a for-profit company, what would be the valuation in the billions of dollars, right? Understand, Jimmy couldn't get Wikipedia as a for-profit company going. None of these angel, these investors here would put any money into him. Okay, but ironically now, because he succeeded, he was one of the 0.1%. He was able to launch. He's actually on the list here. So if you scroll down here, you'll see Jimmy. So the way to get on this list of folks is pretty much you have to have made it. So you may, and most of these guys, like Dave McClure, dude, he was just on PayPal. I mean, he has no real skill. He's just a guy who was part of PayPal who got some money. Now he bought his way into it. Now these guys are trying to do good, but they live. You got to think of them in many respects as they're South Africans, right? The South Africans living in South Africa during apartheid did not see what they were doing as evil or anything wrong, right? And none of these guys, to their credit, really understands what they're doing is evil. But ultimately, they're part of a system that is ultimately evil. Now, all of them would agree VCs are sons of bitches, right? They're horrid folks and everything else. But you know what? These guys are in bed with VCs. So if you're sleeping with a VC that they all say are horrible and don't deal with them, and they ruin deals, and they're part of that, then ultimately you're part of that same sickness. So so Grow VC, I really want to see these guys, improve. So really, look at Angellist as a way they log in. Really simple. Sign up for account. Very easy. This is the epitome of signing in. Whereas if I go to Grow VC and I want to sign in, right? It's a little more slower. Okay, register. Right? It's asking me to sign in. Now I can register with Facebook. See, look at all this here. So significantly more, right? This is just too much. Which is better? This, whoops, I'm going the wrong way. This or this? This or this? Okay? Obviously this is better. Right? So they give you an ability to even, so let's say even if I join in, I'm going to call myself Mike Smith at there, and let's just make up a password. I'm running out of time here. I spent too long barring them. But anyway, so right there, and then you can see. I'll do another video on this, but I'll just finish it here and I'll follow up with another one.